Oh. Hey, what up? My hair's wet. I ever since I got a job, I like twice as much hair has been coming off my head every time I wash it. It has not been like this since college. It's like I am a serious threat to every drain everywhere.
Are you saying it's stress related?
It's gotta be.
Is that a proven thing that happens?
I think so.
That your hair falls out?
Enough people say it, so it's gotta be true.
I feel like that might just be a cliche or like a old wives' tale.
Do you want to get into the discussion we had about the possible partial truth about shaving making your hair grow in fuller?
Well, I mean, it's kind of a truth.
This is like the highest velocity we've ever gone into a podcast.
It's kind of a truth in this. It like aesthetically, it looks.
Well, you're talking about because when it grows back, it doesn't have the thinner
it's blunt.
ends. Yeah, it's blunt. Which I think I've been thinking lately about like the health problems that might cause.
Oh, I just got showered in spit.
Having like sharp, flat, like full-ended hairs everywhere you shave. Like then it just becomes long stubble. You can never have a soft beard again.
You won't spit on me if you don't look directly at me.
You know what? Here, this is a good time to jump into something on the end of my list of topics, which is I should just wear. I lost my face mask though. I got a face mask for COVID and I lost it. But if I wore a mask every time we did a podcast,
or if you just don't look,
you know what? Or I just wear my question mark mask, which for the sake of canonicity, I'm always wearing. But between you and me, I'm not actually. Because it's...
Don't put it... Your hair is wet.
Good point. And it's cardboard.
Is a disaster.
It is a disaster.
Just stop. Just don't look at me when you're talking. Or at least when you say consonants like P or T.
P.
Because then spit will rain down on me.
Okay. How about I just swallow? Okay, so anyways, IShowSpeed's balls. Everyone's seen them. Everyone.
I show balls,
miners,
bro.
Everyone.
Miners, crafters.
That was a good one. Yeah, the whole reason we're doing this podcast.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. No, dude, you said he came down.
I did say that.
He came down the stairs. He admits it. He came down and he was like, dude, we have to do a podcast. And I was expecting him to say because he's leaving for college. And we won't have the chance to do it again in person conveniently for a while then.
But no,
he says, dude, you missed it. IShowSpeed, blood was thrusting, and his
Did
genitalia.
You say blood?
Yeah.
Bro. No.
That's what you sounded like.
Blood just said blood.
Blood was thrusting, and his genitalia fell out. That's what he said. Like, aside from the blood.
That's exactly what happened.
And there's, well, yeah.
So is a perfect description of
I do find your phrasing funny. I told you when you said fell out, it sounds like, oops, I dropped my genitalia.
Well, it's like, I guess he was like wearing boxers.
Yeah, he was.
It did just like fall out, I guess. I mean.
But I love it. You described it perfectly. Like, he just, like, I re-described it possibly even more perfectly. I said the character just died. The character died.
No, that's what I said. I've never seen him so not you know, as erratic as possible. Like it's like he just like took ADHD medicine at that exact moment, and he normal.
He overdosed on ADHD normal pills in 5 seconds.
He got like an instant normal pill injection.
He tapped that Windows key
and he was
so
like,
fast.
Wait, this is too far. I don't want. No, people
Cross
just saw
the
my
line.
penis. This is too far.
The point of no return, dude. I gotta be honest with you. It's really hard because for me to like, what's the word? To like get behind some of the things that interest people on the internet these days. Because everybody, up until like his last controversy, which do you remember that? You probably don't, because like me, you never followed the guy.
The one about him speaking Chinese.
See, you know what? There's probably 1,000 of them.
Yeah, I don't know.
The last one I remember is when he was just like actively trying to scam his entire audience, and then
the crypto one.
And then somebody just
that
like
one's even older.
Just like somebody just like caught him tying his shoe on AstroTurf and was like, "Hey, dude, you're a scammer." And he was like, "Dude, I made a mistake. I'm sorry." And then he walked away. And everyone was like, "You know what? Honestly, that's a pretty good apology." It's like people are so starved for apologies these days because people just won't even admit to being wrong. That somebody just saying, "Oh yeah, I'm terrible. Oh well," is like a good apology now. But I could never get behind IShowSpeed. I didn't always have like a problem with him, but like I don't get the appeal of just like acting like a total bozo on purpose. Like it's more funny when the person isn't a bozo on purpose. You know
that's like the most classic of internet humor.
But
that's been around since the dawn of the ages.
There's two ways.
It's loud equals funny. Like that's been the formula.
Loud does equal funny sometimes. I will listen to like bass boosted, like amplified sound clips and just be laughing my butt off.
Loud equals funny.
But no, here's the thing.
And it's for a more childish audience. Like you're not the target audience.
No, it shouldn't be.
Wait, you don't think target audiences should exist?
No, I don't think his target audience, a guy who thrusts in the camera.
You're looking directly at me about
I don't think a guy who thrusts in...
I agree. I agree that him saying he wants to have sex with Chica from Five Nights at Freddy's is
and then whips it out.
And then yeah. That whole thing is not meshed well with saying that as a child audience, but the fact is that he does.
And that's why I'm saying it's hard for me to get behind this kind of thing, because I don't understand why he has an audience at all. It almost seems like... I know, like... Who was that other guy? There are so many YouTubers who are... I want to handle this delicately. Who act like absolute oafish buffoons for views, who are also black, and it just feels like racist.
Like they're doing like a racist trope themselves?
Yeah, almost like, because I remember back in the day, back when like SJW was still a word people used with some sense of validity. People were, there was like one of the hit things that people were like making fun of SJWs for, was there was like this hit piece saying, "Are you racist for using black memes?" And the answer was obviously no. Which is, why I said...
What are black memes?
Oh, sorry, I didn't say that with enough detail. Memes of black people.
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
But just in amidst that obvious wrongness, they did bring up a point that there is like a disproportionately high, especially compared to the population of black people, like GIFs and running memes of black people. And it's almost like, do we find them inherently more funny, their characteristics, or have they given into a style of comedy that inherently appeals to the wider majority, but is detrimental to their own like self-image?
That reminds me of when I had a dream. That was like I had a dream that was basically a Vine.
Dude. Not only is this the most like high speed podcast introduction, but it's the most high agility. We're bouncing all around. You're just like I'm having a
related.
Dream. I know.
Well, I had a dream that like my dream was basically a Vine. But it was like an advertisement for McDonald's.
Dude, I can't wait. Hold on. It was a Vine, it was like an advertisement for McDonald's.
It was an advertisement for McDonald's, which was like in the humor or style of a Vine.
Dude, those are the good advertisements.
And
tell me all about it.
It was two black guys in a car, and they were beatboxing back and forth. But in between their beatbox licks, the camera would cut to the back seat, and in the back seat of the car was just a blue shirt laying there, a blue T-shirt that had a graphic of Froakie, the Pokemon, on it. And so
Jason, wait, hold on. I need to do like a psychoanalysis of you now.
And then it would just cut to the Froakie shirt.
What's going on?
And then they'd start laughing. It would cut to the other guy and go. And then it would cut to the Froakie shirt. And then at the end, they were just like, "I'm loving it, but up. And I like the McDonald's.
Hold on. Do we need to stop everything and like call in like a spiritual interpreter here? I don't know what this is.
Nah, well, it's the funniest dream I've ever had. As soon as
I mean, it kind of is, yeah.
I have a voice recording on my phone of me describing it because as soon as I woke up.
No, you had one of those things where you like get up in the middle of the night and say, wait.
Dude. No, it was in the morning.
Okay, so I had this dream, like two black guys. Froakie.
I can find it right now. But yeah, I woke up and I was like, that was the funniest dream I've ever had.
Would I have not heard this? I feel like you would have woken
I was at college.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
Did Yvonne hear this?
Wait, is it this? Or is it this? Hold on. It was a McDonald's. All I know is that for some reason. And
watching the advertisement, and there was a blue shirt. They were like in the car, and there was a blue shirt on sitting somewhere, I guess. But it was like zoomed in on the blue shirt, and
I'm struggling to say
the Pokemon. Probably, maybe not.
Yeah, I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Wait, Bella's in this?
Oh yeah.
Bella's here?
Off and on, the two guys. It was like two black guys in the car, and
I think you get the
laughing,
idea.
and then
Why are you telling there?
I actually forgot that. I thought I sent it to her, but I guess she was actually there. Anyways, how does that relate?
The two black guys.
Oh yeah.
You think it was funny because it was two black guys?
No. Well, it's like to me when I think of Vines, I think of like the oh my god Vine and what Back at It Again and Krispy Kreme.
Back at It Again. I mean, that's
There's so many classic Vines that have black people. I don't know. I just feel like I do associate that kind of. I don't know. They're just funny.
I mean, then again,
But I don't know if that's like a racial comment. A lot of the Vines that come to my mind and apparently to my dreams involve black people.
There's definitely an analysis of that you could do that is nuanced and not stupid, but we're not about to do it in our podcast. But then again, I did say the rules are the rules. This has got to be 2 hours.
No, it can't be though. We literally.
But you're
going to
be gone. Jason's going back to college.
It just doesn't work.
And I'm employed. And oh my goodness, guys, my life is crumbling apart. This feels so weird right now that we're recording. Actually, should we finish talking about IShowSpeed first? Nah. I had a little bit of ponderance there. This feels so weird right now. Like this feels like I've been dead for like weeks, and then Jason like comes into my room and senses that it's been haunted, and he pulls out the Ouija board and he starts doing like a seance, and he's trying to communicate with me now, but neither of us can understand each other. That's what this feels like. Like I feel like I shouldn't be here. I'm communicating with the world of the living, but I'm not one of you.
I don't know what that means.
Then let's bring in the spiritual interpreter for both of us.
Do you want to explain why we didn't record a podcast for the past 4 weeks?
I can't justify it. I got too much going on with my job and I'm tired. Dude, I'm not getting enough sleep. But I can't justify getting sleep because I only have a few hours left in the day to do what I want, and I have to spend like the first 5 of those hours figuring out what I want to do with what would usually be the remaining like 10. Now it's like 2.
I think this is a Dandori issue.
It is a Dandori issue. Dude, do I need to talk about how every single character in Pikmin 4 is... Yo, wait, hold on. We're jumping into Pikmin 4 now.
I think you have a Dandori issue in your real life. I think that's
I do
the
have it.
problem.
Dude, Pikmin 4 inspired me so hard that now I'm actually good at my job, but only when I'm actually there in person. Because it's hard to feel in the moment. But like, the last 2 days that I was working on site, I have a hybrid working schedule. It was, dude,
It was over.
No, I don't know how to describe this. I just worked.
Yeah.
And I think I worked harder than most people.
Now you know.
And I did more with less experience.
Now you know how I live my life.
But it was awful because...
Oh, never mind.
Well, no, it was awesome in the moment, but then reflective, I mean, because it's not like there's anything better I could do with my time
all
when
I
I'm in
know
an office.
is that I am a Dandori god inside and outside of the game.
I know, and I wish I could be like you, but here's the thing. People like you are Dandori experts because they found something they're good at Dandorying. I want to find something that's worth being good at Dandorying, and then Dandori. I don't really care about my job other than that it allows me to live a lifestyle where I don't die without living in my parents' bonus room. You know?
Say that again?
I don't have any personal investment in what I'm doing. You don't know this, but I wrote an essay and sent it to Dad about how I feel.
I do know that.
I knew Dad couldn't keep his lips shut.
I didn't read it or anything.
Okay.
He just told me that you sent.
I actually told him in the email, or at least I strongly implied that he shouldn't share it with anyone else, and then he does because he's Dad.
He didn't share it.
But well, I strongly implied he shouldn't even share knowledge of its existence.
Oh, well. We were talking about how much you
My hair
hate
is
your
still
life
wet.
and your job, so I guess you found it pertinent to the conversation.
Dude, we're getting into the topics that I wanted to save for last first. Should I discuss my Dandori issues?
If you want to. I'm going to see if I have any podcast topics.
But, like, that's the thing. I going back into what I was saying earlier, I was all like, oh my goodness, I'm productive. It's like I'm acceptable. It's like I'm not useless. And then I walked away and was like, but I am to myself when I got back home. Because, you know, when I'm in the office, what better can I do than work for the people that I'm employed for? But then when I get back, I'm like, but I don't care about their thing. I don't have any investment in their thing. Very few people in the world have any investment in their thing.
Yeah, that's kind of how jobs are.
But that's not how I want it to be. Hold on. I've been so natural now. I haven't even been looking at the notes that I usually have on my phone. But this is such a heated topic.
Quick interjection. I want to take back a comment I made on a previous podcast when I was talking about...
I've been adding more things to the list of things to cancel you with.
About Pokemon. I mentioned how Gen 6 was revolutionary because of all how they, switched from 2D sprites to 3D models and how much work that must have taken, et cetera, and how it was revolutionary. I would just like to point out that there's a bit of a major oversight there because I'm failing to mention the existence of, like, Pokemon Stadium, games that already had 3D modeled Pokemon, which I'm not sure how much, if they included the whole Pokédex or only a select, probably only a select subset of the Pokemon, but still, Gen 6 mainline Pokemon was not the first Pokemon to have 3D modeled Pokemon and 3D world in general. So that's just a minor correction to a previous comment I made. I don't remember which podcast it was.
And that has been back when...
But if anything, that just proves even more, like, Pokemon Stadium is legendary. So I don't know I still don't know where they went wrong with Pokemon.
Well, no, yeah, because I was about to say that was a very commonly referenced point when people first started turning against the Pokemon company was, man, this is a really old topic now, but just to follow up on your statement, everyone was pointing out how much higher quality and more varied the animations were in Pokemon Stadium.
Right, exactly.
Even with the lower poly models and everything. And then they just have never had anything like it since.
Yeah. And by the way, I thought of this because they brought Pokemon Stadium to the Nintendo Switch Online.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
So that's what made me think of it. And them doing that is kind of funny because it's literally like that. Them releasing that on Nintendo Switch Online is like a better game than any of the modern Pokemon games that have been made.
Dude, honestly, I've played Pokemon games. I almost don't feel like a true Pokemon fan, not only because I'm not too interested in it now.
Same as Legend of Zelda with that GameStop worker.
Oh my goodness, are we gonna get into? We got to get into that.
Bro
just
was
briefly.
like, I haven't played Twilight Princess. I can't even speak to the
Legend
of Zelda. Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask. Who even cares about those? I'm a newbie.
No, they don't even know what we're talking about. I walked into a GameStop to buy Splatoon 3 really late.
I walked in really late.
Pikmin 4, because it's been out for a really long time.
I was like, it wasn't that late.
And the microphone that we're currently recording with, there's probably going to be a little intro.
Oh, yeah, I totally convinced him to actually get the microphone.
Yeah, I have my own microphone now.
Next stop, the new chair.
We're doing Let's Plays. No, I thought that's what you were saying. Next, we're doing Let's Plays, because we each have our own microphone.
Yeah, and you're going to do them from a new chair.
I've lost my train of thought now.
GameStop, Splatoon
and
3.
I was just wearing my Legend of Zelda shirt.
Classic. He's wearing a Kirby shirt right now. This guy is like such a basic
Now, I am a big
gamer.
Kirby fan. I have played plenty of Kirby. I have experience.
No, I'm just saying, when are you not wearing a Nintendo-themed shirt?
Like, when I'm out in public?
You're the stereotype.
When I'm out in public?
Not with this GameStop work. Why are you, like, leaning into my face right now?
Sorry.
No, I just said you were like, when I'm in public?
I'm sorry.
When I'm in public?
Let me finish the story. But, okay, here's the thing.
Sure.
Whenever I went to college and I wore my... actually, no, I'll save this part for last. But sometimes the shirts I wear get me in trouble, and this is why I don't always wear them in public, but there are exceptions. So I went there, and I was wearing the one Legend of Zelda shirt I have, which is it was a specifically Link to the Past theme, but it has a general enough design that it's just a Legend of Zelda shirt. I have played Link to the Past. I have not won it. That is the case with a lot of Zelda games. But I have played a decent amount of the Zelda games, and definitely not just one of them, But the thing is, I go out, and the person behind the desk at GameStop, they're like, oh, cool shirt. And it's a miracle that I even remembered I was wearing the Zelda shirt. Usually I do the thing where I have to, like, look down and be like, what?
I would have.
But, like...
I never remember.
I know. I just saw it clicked. Like, it was a bit longer than it would probably take a normal person, but it clicked a few seconds after they said. They're like, what's your favorite Zelda game? And true, I feel like I don't have enough experience. I'm not a big enough Zelda fan to give an answer that it feels like well-researched enough.
Beaten Breath of the Wild.
Yes. And I haven't played Tears of the Kingdom yet, but I have played Breath of the Wild. I just didn't know what to say, and so I stumbled, but luckily they filled in with, it's hard to pick, isn't it? I was like, yeah. But it really is. Honestly, it might be Link Between Worlds, but I didn't know if that was like a normie answer. And that is
not a normie answer.
Well, I know it's... But I didn't know if it was a respectable
answer. I forgot that game existed until you just said it.
I didn't know if it was a respectable answer, because I feel like they'd probably expect a bigger game, like one of the 3D titles.
Yeah, they were expecting you to say Breath of the Wild or maybe Ocarina of Time.
No, those I thought would be normie answers, and those would be my second and third.
But, they said Twilight Princess, right?
Yeah, that was their favorite. And I haven't played Twilight Princess. Haven't even played it, let alone won it.
You should have said Link to the Past. They probably would have thought that was cool.
Well, I mean, that was on my shirt.
It wasn't a normie answer.
Yeah.
Well, why didn't you just say it then?
I was too scared, Jason. It was a social interaction.
I haven't beat Wind Waker either.
But I don't like to...
Bro is a game starter and not a game finisher.
I don't have time. I already didn't have time before I had a job. I have so many aspirations, guys.
We're talking about there's like summers between college. When you were in college, there was whole summers where you got
How long ago are we talking?
Like
this
5 new games for Christmas.
This used to be switched, where I was saying how I had won all the Kirby games for 3DS.
He would get like 5 new games for Christmas, and he would have all summer after college. He would have all summer to play them and not even crack them open.
Pre-college, this was you, dude. I would have played all the Kirbys that we got on the 3DS, and you were like, haven't even touched them.
You can say that all you want. I don't care, because guess what? I'm not saying that's not me.
You know what? I don't care either.
Okay.
Bam.
Cool then.
I've justified it already. I told you.
As long as you admit that that's the case.
I'm not. Our dad.
All I'm saying is
that he throws all the time.
The reality is that you have had time to play those games and you just didn't.
I can't justify it though. I can't sit back. When I was playing Pikmin 4, I felt guilty. I was
summer in college though. We're talking about college in the summer.
Yeah,
you couldn't justify because you played Color Splash for like 5 hours and then just quit. For example,
I got stuck and I couldn't figure out where like the next level.
And that was the same with Wind Waker, probably the same summer, I think.
No, I don't think I got stuck in Wind Waker.
Well, I'm saying you played for like 5 hours and then you just never played it again.
I don't know how to. I don't have a. I know why I do what I do, but I don't have like a well-worded response for you here, and so I feel like you've painted a bad picture.
Well, I am a game finisher. Speaking of which, I started finished Portal and Portal 2 in the past 3 days. Also, I've started and finished Pikmin 4 in the past few weeks. Cause boy, that game is long.
Oh my goodness!
It was 38 hours or more of
Hold on,
playtime.
You've introduced too many topics, and I'm still not done talking about when the dentist saw me wearing the Legend of Zelda shirt, and he was like, "Did you see that life-size replica of the Master Sword on Reddit?" And I was like, "No, I'm not a Redditor."
He's self-reported though. Now you know he's a Redditor.
Yeah, now I do. But I've gotten in trouble for the shirts. I was going to give you more stories very briefly. Every time in college that I went out wearing that NES controller shirt, some really nerdy-looking guy was like, "Nice shirt." It always happened.
Is that a problem?
No, but I've never had someone comment on a shirt before until then. And I don't know, because I wore that 8-bit Mario shirt sometimes too. Never got any words, but always the NES controller shirt. Somebody was like, "Nice shirt."
Well, the 8-bit Mario sprite is like the most mainstream video game iconography. Like, that's the most mainstream.
That's Nintendo's website's homepage icon.
You are looking directly at me still, by the way.
Because I'm talking to you.
I know, it's just, but I don't want to take a bath in your spit right
now. I need like one of those horse, the blinders. Things they put on, yeah. For just the microphone.
You need like a thing that anchors to your neck and holds your
I know, like when I'm literally guys, you don't see right now, I'm holding my head in place with my hands.
But Portal 1, Portal 2,
also
great games.
I had my Pokeball keychain that I have. I was walking out of the dining hall one time, and some guy was like, he was having a rant about video games to like his friend, at the table, and I could hear him even though I wasn't sitting next to him. He was that loud. And I'm leaving the dining hall, and he sees my Pokeball keychain, and you think there was a buffer between realizing they were talking about my shirt at GameStop. The buffer, it took me to realize he was talking about the keychain on my backpack. He looked at me, noticing the Pokeball keychain on my backpack, and he said, "Oh, sorry about them ruining your favorite franchise, bro." And I was like...
That is... Wait. That's such a weird thing to say.
This was back in the big controversy of Game Freak and all the decisions.
If somebody said that to me, I would just keep walking, not even thinking they're talking to me.
No, I was like, "Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I know how it is." I had like one of those responses, and then I just left. Anyways, Pikmin 4 is insane, guys. It's crazy. We've been playing it. I haven't played nearly as much as Jason because I can't justify playing games, as I was saying before, but didn't have time to articulate and wasn't prepared for. He thrust it upon me. But Pikmin 4 is insane, guys.
38 hours to beat it all the way.
Yeah, that's how long you've gotten into it?
98% completion. There's like 2 minor things
That's
left to do.
actually how I want games to be. I hear people say... like, "Oh, it's the standard 12 hours to finish the game," or whatever. And I'm like, that almost, that sounds about right,
to be
but
clear,
it feels shorter than it actually should for a good game.
I could probably beat the game in under 5 hours.
Well, with your current knowledge, not to a beginner who is playing blind, probably.
Without my current knowledge, I could probably beat it in under 12 hours. But what I'm saying is, I played the game where I was getting all of the treasures, like 100% of the game as I went.
And it's definitely a game that,
So 100% completion,
yeah,
almost 40 hours. I feel like that's not that crazy for a game.
Yeah, it's definitely a game where you want to do that.
But
it's a game that's
Pikmin is like a game where like you're kind of encouraged to 100% it.
It's not like getting all the Korok seeds or whatever in Legend of Zelda. It's not the same thing.
Or just like getting all the achievements in Terraria.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of thing.
The achievements kind of ruin games for me. It's like I want to get them all, but there's so many of them that they don't even feel like something when I get one. You know what I mean?
You mean you're not willing to create 100 new Terraria worlds to do over 200 fishing angler quests to get the achievement for doing 200 angler quests?
Yes, exactly.
You mean that I'm crazy for spending 10 hours doing that?
Dude,
and
you
getting
did that?
every achievement in the game? I 100% of Terraria, and then after the devs said for the 12th time that they weren't going to update the game anymore, they updated the game again and added more achievements, and so now I don't have 100%.
I didn't know you were this crazy about Terraria.
Yeah, back in COVID, when I had
in
2021 when I had online school, my senior year of high school, pretty much every day during class, I would just play Terraria while listening to my Zoom classes. I sank like 100 hours into the game.
That's insane, bro. Minecraft ain't got nothing on this.
No, in Minecraft I've spent probably more time playing, but Terraria's
Minecraft got something on this.
But yeah, I'm really annoyed because
how close does that come up to your Fortnite time?
Fortnite was like 800 hours, which is actually crazy. But let's see. My other highest...
You see they added anime characters into Fortnite?
There's literally every character. There's Futurama characters.
I know.
I was like, I know.
It worked. I got him talking about Fortnite again.
I don't know if you heard about the new Futurama, like, I guess it's like a reboot or something.
Yeah, but I don't know the full details.
I knew about that, and then I just...
Futurama is one of those shows I'd like to watch.
Same. Anyways,
but haven't.
And I just see
just
this
like all the
clip
games I haven't played.
Fortnite, and it's the Futurama characters emoting, and I'm like, what?
I know.
Already? You can't Futurama reboot thing is happening, and there's already promotional skins in Fortnite.
You could mod anything into Fortnite as a character.
There's Jujutsu Kaisen in Fortnite now. Like,
I don't even know what that is. They could have made up that anime for all I know.
He doesn't know what JJK is. Can you believe that?
I'm not a weeb. I haven't been watching anime.
It's like one of the most popular recent animes. But anyways.
I don't like popular recent anime.
This is unrelated. My highest, most playtime games, probably Smash Bros. next to Brawlhalla, which is at like 400 or something. No, sorry, Terraria is at 400 something.
Dude,
then Brawlhalla is at 300, almost 400, I think. Rocket League is at over 300, I think. And then CSGO is a little over 200,
Dude's insane at Rocket League. He destroys the competition.
Dude, oh my god.
He is a pilot. He can fly.
Guys, if you know anything about Rocket League, I'm a Diamond 1. That should tell you all you need to know. I'm a Diamond 1.
And he starts giggling like a little schoolgirl every time he ranks down.
No.
You're like, yay, Michael, we're Diamond 1.
No. You didn't understand. That was the first time we reached Diamond 1. We've been at Platinum 3 forever trying to get to Diamond 1, and we finally made it. Every time we would get... It was actually... We made it a joke that it was a final boss battle to get to Diamond 1. Because every time we would get up to Platinum 3 Division 4, which there's 4 divisions.
You see, we're a team. It's him and Michael, and then I sit on the bench.
Every time we would get to Platinum 3 Division 4, it'd be like, okay, this is the game. If we win, we'll go up to Diamond 1. That happened to us about 10 times, and we lost every time. And we would always get on a losing streak and then go all the way back down to Division 1 or even to Platinum 2 and then have to go back up. So that's why I giggled when we made it to Diamond 1 finally. What I really am is I'm a competitive gamer. Because if you notice, every game I just said is highly competitive.
Yeah.
I love playing ranked games. Like Brawlhalla, I only play ranked multiplayer. Rocket League, I only play ranked competitive multiplayer. CSGO is like the most competitive game in the world. Smash Bros, obviously competitive. I just love competitive games. But I've always loved story-based games too. There's just something about competitive games that it's like it's more addictive because you you can just keep queuing up another game over and over. And I've always explained it as like I like the possibilities of jumping into a game and you never know what could happen. Like, for example, Rocket League, you could do some crazy stuff. Or like Smash Bros, I always used to pull off some crazy tricks on my opponent, dunk them. That's what I think the appeal is for me in multiplayer games. But, single-player, story-based campaign games for me is like, it's such a commitment is what it feels like. It's like watching a movie. I love movies, but sometimes it's hard for me to start a movie.
But it's like you're in the movie
because it's like such a commitment. It's like a long time thing.
You're literally just explaining exactly why I haven't been a gamer lately.
So I've pushed past that, and I've started checking off the boxes of single-player story-based games that I need to win.
Well, I'm proud of you. I'm not there yet.
Starting with Portal. And then after I beat Portal in one day, not that that's like an accomplishment, it's a short game, I then played Portal 2, and now I'm starting Half-Life. So I'm going through the whole Valve, what's the word? Gamography.
Jason is going through my backlog before I can. This is what you always do. You do everything I want to do before
Valve
I do.
Games, but I've never, I know how infamous they are, but I never played them. Well, I recently, 8 months ago, actually. No, 5 months ago. It was like during the winter sale, I think. Doesn't matter. I bought
Roll the die.
I bought a Steam bundle of all the Valve games ever, and
I missed it.
So now I can actually play them all, and it's the greatest experience of my life. Portal 2 is a great game, in my top 10, as I said to you previously.
Yes.
I just think it's great. I don't know where I was really going with this.
I want to play it, but like I said, I'm never going to get to it. And as far as the competitive gaming
I know what
thing,
I want to say with this.
The reason why
Valve needs to make more games, and more importantly, they need to bring back... I feel like Nintendo is the only company that delivers quality, single-player, story-based games like Pikmin.
Yeah.
Anymore, period.
That's why I love Nintendo.
Like, Call of Duty...
Everything.
Call of Duty has always had its campaign... And the older Call of Duties, their campaigns were like legendary. People love them. But nowadays, it's very, very much multiplayer focused, like almost exclusively multiplayer focused. And Call of Duty is basically a dying franchise now because they've done terribly with the recent games.
Plus, of these newer games that like are part of a series like that, they're never really pushing any boundaries. Like Nintendo will come out with a game and they'll be like, check out these cool mechanics. Call of Duty will just be like, another Call of Duty.
Well, that's why Valve was also great, because they always knew to quit. They would always make a great game. Like, they would make their first game, and it's like a dip the toes in the water prototype, and then fans would love it because Valve aces everything they do. And then they would make, Half-Life 2, Portal 2, and it would be the sequel, the polished, robust, fully realized form of that game, which is what Portal 2 is to Portal. And then... they're like, you know what? Now it's time to make a new story. We don't need a Portal 3. We don't need to just keep milking it. But anyways.
Honestly, Nintendo's kind of like the same way in a short-term sense. Because they're like, people talk about the long breaks between like Metroid and Pikmin and how there's never been an F-Zero since for how long now. But like, because probably, do they like need another one? Do you really think it would be worth it if they just threw it together because you asked for it?
But the best thing, the most impressive thing that I wish I really wish was still a thing is the Portal 2 co-op campaign. How there's a whole separate story exclusively for co-op play,
and we gotta play
in Portal 2. And that is just like unheard of, period, nowadays, because pretty much the only time you see multiplayer
That'd be
gameplay
cool in Pikmin.
is online multiplayer competitive games, like Rocket League, or like fighting games, sports games, shooting games. That is pretty much all you see is like, or like MMOs. That's the only multiplayer you see. You don't really see story-focused multiplayer. And this is like a really depressing thing about
There was
Pikmin
like a story-focused multiplayer game that you realize you've been talking like 90%.
Yes, but like I just still haven't finished my point.
He's getting mad at me. I was just going to say,
so
there was a
close to finishing my
story-focused
point.
multiplayer game that like almost won Game of the Year, I think, just last year or something.
It did win. Stray?
Oh, it did? No, it's not Stray. It's
the other one.
It Takes Two or whatever.
It Takes Two. Yeah, it won. I thought it won something.
I wasn't sure if it won or not. Yeah, it won something. I didn't know what it won.
Anyways, but that is a good example. Games like that. But Pikmin 4 literally just said, nah, no co-op. We're gonna do like the Super Mario Galaxy where player 2
It's
can,
literally built
can
in.
throw star
Like they
bits.
have the mechanics to make it 2-player just right there. There's split screen. There's more than one character control.
Yeah, you have the captain and Ochi. Like it's literally perfect.
And then they're literally just like, no, you can throw rocks. I'm telling you,
And
they must have...
To me, that's just the perfect example of how co-op games are just like, it's just a dying thing.
This is a thing Nintendo
and
does,
I've
though.
always loved co-op so much.
This is also just a thing Nintendo does, though. Like...
Be terrible.
Well, no.
Make an absolutely perfect, beautiful game and then mess it up in exactly one way.
Push a certain mode of gameplay onto you. Like, people have talked about how Salmon Run, it used to be like you can only play during certain times of the day because they didn't want people playing all the time. In Splatoon, you can't choose which stage you want to play on. They're cycled through manually. Splatoon had a lot of that, actually. And Pikmin's the same way. I feel like Nintendo really wanted people to have a single-player experience with it. They were worried that the 2-player would like ruin certain ideas they had for the game flow. And so they were like, we're not even going to make it an option. You can throw rocks.
I think probably the thought process is like when you're riding Ochi, if Ochi were the player 2, when you're riding Ochi, it's like, well, now what does player 2 do?
Yeah. Well, they could have easily made a second captain. Every other game except the first has had that. But then you would have to share Ochi.
Yeah.
But you know what? That would
it would also mess up the balance because it would make the game way easier.
I think it would make it more interesting. It's like who gets Ochi. It's like we got to trade off. I need Ochi for this. It's like more resource management.
But it would also make it would mess up the balance. That's probably why they didn't do it.
Yeah.
But the other things is that they could just make it so that player 2 as Ochi can throw Pikmin even while you're riding him, as you throw Pikmin as well. They could have made it so that player 2 has to be the one to charge up rushes. Meanwhile, player 1 can jump with Ochi. So
that'd be nice.
So like 1 controls the jump instead of the button currently does jump and to do the rush attack. You could have player 2 control that, and then that requires like coordination.
Oh, by the way,
I think they could have made it work. I think they just were scared that it might break the game in some way that they didn't intend.
That's also true. We're gonna jump right into Pikmin 4 after this because we might as well. I was gonna say. Pokemon Stadium with Jason S.
Well, you never finished what you were saying about work.
Here's the thing. Oh my goodness,
There's like a giant block in brackets right now that's like 1,000.
No way, dude! I was gonna say we need to start closing brackets. You took the words out of my mouth. We have a lot of open brackets, and we're gonna close them. And I think I'm gonna have to close that one last. But what I was gonna say, if I can remember it now, clarifying my statement earlier.
This podcast looks like that graphic I keep seeing of the Bible, all the cross references in the Bible.
Wait, hold on.
Where it's like 1,000 arcs pointing through different books of the Bible where there's like cross references.
Dude, send me that. That sounds cool, actually.
I'll show it to you right now. But keep talking while I find it.
But no, that's what you're saying. It looks like in your head right now.
That's what the podcast is like right now. Yeah.
Dude has synesthesia for storytelling. That's crazy. What was I gonna say? Bro, it's like a quantum rainbow.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what it means, but that's
actually cool. How like sort of symmetrical and well spread out that is.
That's what the podcast is like right now, though.
Yeah.
If you were to label all the cross references.
Anyways, disclaimer about what I said earlier about liking Nintendo because they know when to quit on a short term. the short term was the emphasis there. I realize, obviously, they did eventually bring back, like, Pikmin and Metroid and stuff like that. And they were good. But I think, and people still complain about, like, how long it took to get there. I think it was justified because I don't think they had any ideas. Like, people can't just say, I want a new Pikmin, and then Nintendo's like, I've got ideas now, all of a sudden. This is going to be worth it. No, they get around to it when they feel like they can make a worthy product, and I feel like the wait has been justified. Plus, honestly, this is just me being a non-gamer, a really slow, lazy gamer again. But people are always like, can you believe it's been like 10 years since the last Pikmin? And I'm like, yeah, that seems like a good amount of time between Pikmins. Like, you know, I don't need a Pikmin every 5 years. I don't want a Pikmin every 5 years.
5 years? Are you kidding me? That's
what it sounds like some people...
Time.
Oh, wait, no, you think that's good?
Yes, why would you want decades in between? Like, you could literally...
Maybe not 10. How about 8 years?
I've gone through all of my formative years of life, like my adolescence, my entire adolescence. That's how long 10 years is, waiting for the fourth Pikmin game. 10 years is crazy. I mean, that's like in 10 years, Shigeru Miyamoto might be retired and not even making games anymore.
That's...
That is crazy to say that you only want one game every 10 years.
If they make the games too fast, I'm never going to be able to play them all.
He doesn't speak for the rest of the Pikmin community.
I'm sorry, Pikmin community.
I think there's a such thing as oversaturation and not giving enough time for
that said, I would absolutely wait 10 years for a new Pikmin if that was the way to make it the best it could be.
10 years is way too much. 10 years is way too much. I mean, it's not like that I'm particularly salty about Pikmin 4 because it's fine. I think they delivered a great game. And it was worth the wait, but I wouldn't have been mad if it came, in 2018, like when it was supposed to originally.
I've actually been thinking a bit about this, about the timeline of game production and how it relates to quality. I've been wondering, because, Nintendo is like in a... they had a little bit of a renaissance when the Switch kicked off with Odyssey and Breath of the Wild. And now there's like a second renaissance with like everything that they announced in the... Why are you leaning back like that?
To try to get you to look at the mic, but instead you just turned almost backwards.
Yeah, because you're drawing attention to yourself by like acting like you took like...
I thought if I leaned back, you'd be like, oh wait, I'm completely looking away from the microphone right now.
No, I'm like, what is this weirdo doing? But what was I going to say? Oh yeah, I feel like maybe they've developed a strategy here, because between that gap, especially recently up at the end, it was like they were desperate to just get stuff out. We were talking about how this goes against Miyamoto's philosophy, which should be at like the heart of Nintendo, about a rushed game is always bad, a delayed game is eventually good. Which obviously with DLC, that's a little bit different nowadays, but people don't like to say, oh, I'll just buy the game when it's bad and wait till it's good, because that feels like you're cheating the consumer. But, like, stuff with, like, Strikers seeming like it lacked content, and stuff like the Pokemon games with their yearly releases seeming increasingly glitchier and unpolished as well. It seems like Nintendo was trying to fill a gap because they knew they were working on some big titles and they needed stuff to just fill it in so people didn't lose interest in them. And now they finally like, okay, here's what we were working on this whole time. Pikmin 4, Mario Wonder, all this stuff. This Princess Peach game that we still don't know about. And I wonder if it's justified sometimes, if it's like their only business option is to rush some games in order to let people know they're still there while they work on the games that are really worth the time.
I think I have something that will make you fold. I don't think you'll have a response to this.
Oh, okay. I'm ready to fold. If you're right.
Used to be, this is in regards to your 10 years comment, or like how there should be space between games. I made comments about how it's crazy how soon after Splatoon 2 they made Splatoon 3.
Yeah.
And you 100% justified it. It was like, that's not crazy. So
wait.
You don't
I said it wasn't crazy that they made one so recently?
I'm pretty sure you said it wasn't crazy.
I think I was mainly coming from the standpoint of Splatoon 2 not being unique enough from Splatoon 1. And also the fact that it, as a newer series in Nintendo's repertoire, it doesn't have like a good like focal point or reference point, that's the word, for like how long between releases should be. So I mean, I could be wrong, but I remember having more of a neutral standpoint on it, saying, like, it doesn't bother me. I don't think it's too early, but not necessarily, I think this is just right. I just didn't think it was, like, a problem.
Well, about 3 or 2, because now you were just talking about 1 and 2.
Oh wait, no.
I was saying 3. I feel like came out really soon after Splatoon 2.
No, I was talking about 3 and 2. You probably thought I was talking about 1 and 2 because I was talking about being earlier.
I completely didn't understand.
About being an earlier, like, a newer series to Nintendo. But I mean, it's still a newer series, all things considered.
Yeah. Maybe I need to play like the Octo expansion or something.
Oh yeah, dude.
I just feel like
play the Octo expansion. It's good. It's like the best DLC
but
Nintendo's
that's the
ever
thing,
made.
though. They come out with Splatoon 2, then pretty late after Splatoon 2's release, they come out with the Octo expansion, which adds
it's like a Bowser's Fury type thing.
And
it's
then,
like a whole other half game.
And then shortly after that, I mean, all things considered, relatively shortly after that, they come out with Splatoon 3. It's just like I feel like they're really milking Splatoon. Honestly, that's just my opinion.
I like Splatoon.
I know, but then what's the problem with them milking Pikmin? Like, with 10 years? What are you, like, a masochist when it comes to Pikmin?
I genuinely think Pikmin is a more time-intensive game to create. It just seems that way to me.
I'm sure because Splatoon, they just copy the same engine and add, like, new weapons.
I actually do wish they added a little bit more to some Splatoon games. I wasn't on board with some people who were like, it's literally copy-paste, but I do think... Well, here's the thing. I haven't played Splatoon 3 yet, but I already do wish I had heard maybe some more interesting new things about it. But I mean, I think it's passably new, definitely, and I'm excited to play it. It's sitting right there, and who knows when I'll get to it. But
hopefully soon, because I'm gonna take the Switch back if you don't.
Oh yeah, Jason's leaving the Switch with me this time. It's a huge responsibility. This is my chance to catch up as a gamer. Well, you know, now that I'm trying to be an artist and employed and everything.
So you got Pikmin 4 to finish. You have Metroid Dread to start and finish. You have Splatoon 3 to play.
You also and I was the one who wanted Metroid Dread.
You also have Kirby and the Forgotten Land, which you asked for and
received it's real forgotten
Christmas. Now. You also have Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, or Sparks of Hope, sorry.
Dude,
which you asked for Christmas and received.
I gotta make a quick comment about that. I said that I wouldn't mind, from a story-like perspective or anything, playing those out of order. Usually I'm a purist and I have to play games in order, but I'm legitimately starting to take that back now because from what I've seen, like, it's one of those games where the sequel just like blows the first so far out of the water that if you go back to the first, it feels like just a definitive downgrade. So I feel like if I ever want to play both, I gotta play the first first.
I don't even have confidence that you will play either of them, so why not you just play the second one and forget about the first?
Look, some guy in college heard that I was a gamer. He was trying to make small talk. We ran into each other on the brick road. And he was like,
Is that like your only outward personality trait?
Yeah.
Okay.
All the others I keep bottled up way inside. And most of them are self-destructive, so if you knew about them, you'd like take me to a therapist, and that'd be a whole ordeal. Then I'd be dealing with therapy, work, art, and gaming. Can you imagine? Jason's like sobbing, crying right now.
Well, I mean, there goes the viewer's ears, or the listener's ears.
Oh, I gotta remember to quiet that down. Anyways, he was like, you should play XCOM. And it's the same genre that Mario Rabbids is. It's like an RPG shooter, like, mapped thing.
Cool.
So I owe it to him to get into this, because this is the closest. I'm not going to play XCOM. I'm not. But if you put Mario in it, I'll play it.
You know what, strangely enough, started my return to single-player video games? Mario Tennis Aces.
Dude, yeah, you really like that game.
I decided I was going to play, because I remembered, I was like, there's like a whole adventure mode to this. And so I was like, why not play through it?
I'll be honest.
And I actually really, really enjoyed the adventure mode. Like the campaign.
I haven't played through the adventure mode, but I think it's at least a step in a nice direction for the Mario Sports series. A lot of people see it as a step in the wrong direction because it could have been even more. But I think where it really cemented itself as a step in the wrong direction is when Mario Golf whatever came out, and it was even less polished. Bro, that game is hilarious. Did you know that the only character that they programmed blinking into their idle animation is Daisy? Everyone else they forgot. None of the other characters blink.
That's pretty
It's
cool.
Hilarious. They didn't even have time to add like an accuracy meter. You just hit the ball as hard as you can.
Well, I think Mario Tennis Aces. I didn't know.
And Strikers is
neutral.
Know that I think it's pretty good. A lot of people like to act like it's a terrible stain on the Mario legacy, but I think it could have been better. But it's pretty good.
Uh-oh, I got long hair that needs to be cut there.
Oh yeah, Jason just got a haircut. His hair's long now. This is why I always draw his hair the same. I'm getting a phone call.
Are there scissors up here?
Am I about to answer? Guys, I get huge.
There are scissors right here.
Social anxiety.
Okay, time out. Answer the phone. I'm going to cut my hair.
Oh my goodness. Hello?
hang up.
Good morning. Please visit Gibsonville today. The market will have fresh flowers, and I'm literally getting ads for like the city. Like, what's going on?
You're getting ads for Gibsonville, the city.
This literally has happened multiple times with multiple different cities. I was like, please come to the fair. There's a parade. I was like, I don't care. Why are you giving me social anxiety by phone calling me? Send me a text if you have to.
Bro,
send me an email.
You're on some kind of list.
I know. Some guy thought I was Ishmael. I was like, do I look like I'm hunting down Moby Dick? No. They were like, is this Ishmael? And it's like, no. This is Jonathan. It's like, oh, sorry. It's like, that's okay. No, don't call me again. I'm not Ishmael. What was the other foreign name they thought I was?
I can't get these hairs, and now I'm convinced I just took out a chunk of my scalp.
There's no way. It's like, I have like the most used number in the world. Like, I feel like 1,000 people have had this number before me. Dad told me when I first got the phone and I was getting all these wrong numbers and stuff, like, oh, they'll figure it out eventually. They'll realize you're not this one person. No, but there's 100 people and they all still think I'm that person.
You're not that guy. You're not that guy.
I'm not that guy.
You're not that guy.
Okay. Brief aside. Haha. This is why I always draw Jason's hair the same way, because it's always changing. My hair just keeps getting longer.
It hasn't changed in months. I haven't gotten a haircut in almost a year. What are you talking about?
Okay, actually, I'm just lazy.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of reasons.
You've had almost a year to draw my hair down.
Well, one of them is I'm like a cartoon character of myself, so I kind of add that onto Jason as well with his hairstyle, because he doesn't really gel his hair back like that anymore. He puts wax in it, but it's like a more of a messy look. Do you want to use this as an opportunity to talk about the podcast? Let's open another bracket. Let's go.
Wait, whoa, hold on.
You actually said this to me way back when you wanted to do a podcast. Way back before.
Oh, that reminds me of
before Speed's balls dropped out.
The disastrous news I never got to tell you from way back.
Oh, I thought that was a joke. Jason has this running gag where he's like, guys, I have to tell you something. And then he just leaves the room.
No. I told you I was going to do it on the podcast to get your reaction.
Okay.
Live. But then when you never had a podcast after I said that, it was the week before the beach, I guess, before we went to the beach, which is where the disaster all started.
The beach is where the disaster happened?
I mean, like, after that, it was when you were too busy every week to record a podcast, or justify recording a podcast. Dude, my senses just suddenly got overwhelmed with the smell of bacon. That's kind of weird.
Why is that? We had bacon yesterday. Why is that bacon? What?
No. It's just like, it was like a synesthesia. Like, it was like
a
hallucination.
I get that all the time.
It was like a smell hallucination.
No, I get that all the time. It's like what? No, it's like I don't actually smell it, but it's like I strongly remember the smell. Like, it's as if like, hey, do you remember what cantaloupe smells like?
It's like
I do.
I can tell it's not physically in there, but it's like the electrical signals go off in my brain.
Yeah, yes.
The same signals as like if I did smell it.
That happens to me all the time. It actually only has in the grand scheme of things, it's been a little while now, but like relatively recently has it started.
If I were a dog, I would have started drooling right there.
That's hilarious.
That's the best way to describe it.
We've got like chips in our brains. There's something going on.
No, I think we're just really smart. I think this is what happens when you reach a certain level of intelligence.
You start randomly smelling things?
Nah, I'm just messing. We're not. What was I talking about? Oh, we can't use the name of the escape pod. Well, we could.
No, someone stole it? Is it a Jam Lab situation?
Yeah, I was going to say we might have to pull a Jam Lab. There is two guys who drink out of Spider-Man mugs. And they're two scrawny white guys. It's just like us.
Dude, do they have a Charizard, a red Charizard shirt in the back of their
red Charizard. And their name of their podcast
anti-black
is
McDonald's
the Escape
guys.
Pod, and they post regularly, as far as I can tell.
Dang it! No!
Is that your one weakness? They have 13,000 subscribers. Hold on, I'm gonna
Yes, my one weakness is people stealing my idea.
They have 13,000 subscribers. The one guy records every episode almost, it looks like, in this zip-up Spider-Man hoodie. And they both drink out of...
He even stole the idea of wearing a hoodie in every episode. That's me! But they don't wear a mask, and you know what?
They have the two... One of them is the red Spider-Man, the other one is the black, like, Venom Spider-Man mugs that they drink out of. That's literally their logo.
There's even an evil one, just like you, Jason. I'm joking.
And they're called the Escape Pod. Their tag is the Escape Pod Podcast. Go send them some love. They have 13,000 subscribers, and they last posted 4 days ago. So they post weekly, it looks like.
Are you ready for this? Get ready. Nintendo's All-Stars in. Are you ready for this? I'm pacing. Stop playing ad music.
Sorry, I was about to show you some of their video.
I don't want to see it. I don't need to see it.
Oh, they did this one in bed in a hotel?
Dang it! They're doing weird locations like we always wanted to.
Yeah, they're doing.
Man!
They're doing the location podcast.
I even said I wanted to do it at the beach. We were in a condo. That's close enough.
And they have ads, meaning they make revenue. Don't. You're gonna break your Meemaw chair.
I have to.
Why is there a third shirtless guy in the podcast?
They're just in bed with a shirtless guy.
This crossover was golden. 200 comments? Dude, they have a pretty active community, it looks like. Aren't you glad I decided to reveal this on the podcast to get your reaction?
No! Listen!
You need to put a comment or a timestamp.
We are from North Carolina.
You need to put
we
a
are
timestamp
the
where,
capital of YouTube.
This is where
Mr.
the nuclear
Beast,
fallout
here.
begins.
Red
If you
link,
want to save
here.
your headphones in your ears, stop listening beyond this point.
Crazy Russian hacker? Was he from here? Is
Yes,
he here?
yeah.
Here! We are the home of YouTube! This is our turf! You do not step on our podcast! I know it's an extremely generic, easy name to come up with for a podcast, The Escape Pod. But you know what? You know what? You can't draw! You can't draw! You just record yourself in bed with some shirtless guy! You know what? I can draw! That's it! I'm quitting my job! I'm doing this full time! Let's go! Are you ready? Are you ready? They don't even have a space theme! We don't either, but we're aiming towards it!
Dude, this guy does he has a Pokemon shirt on. That's crazy.
Dude, he does. Oh my goodness, it's a black Pikachu shirt. That's what's in the back of their car.
These are our
Anyways, we're
doppelgangers.
working towards the space theme. They didn't earn Escape Pod. Anyone can come up with a space pod.
They live in North Carolina. I'm joking. They could. They could.
I almost defenestrated my brother.
They could. We don't know.
I almost used a window to commit fratricide. Okay, but no, real talk. This is actually hilarious because one of my I just spend like hours a day planning how I would I have podcasts with you in my head in preparation for the real thing. That's what I do. I'm scripted like that. One of the intros I was thinking of is have you seen that thing that it's kind of died off now, but a bunch of YouTubers were like being this guy from and this would actually make it even funnier is if they were from North Carolina. It's like. This guy from, you may think I'm the biggest YouTuber from my home state or whatever. Have you seen those?
Yeah, you're like, yeah.
Sorry, I'm facing him again. It's like, but actually, this guy who just makes videos targeted towards kids or whatever is bigger than me. Help me beat them in subscribers. That's us. We're better. Name a more unique podcast than us. We're grassroots too. Real startup here.
I guess you could say that.
That's us. Help us beat the other Escape podcast. I'm telling you right now.
So
There's 5 of you, but you're a dedicated team. The other guys, they're a hive mind. They can't. They want to be a hive mind, but they can't. They're not coordinated enough because they're too big.
You want to go scorched earth? You don't want to compromise? You want to take them down?
Yeah, I want to take them down. Let's go. They didn't earn. We're going to be in space one of these days. And then how are they going to be like, we're the Escape Pod, but we just thought it sounded cool? We're in space.
What if we call it the Space Pod?
There's no pun there.
What do you mean?
Space pod isn't a term.
Yeah, it is.
It is?
Well, okay. If somebody walked up to you and said, picture in your mind a space pod, you would probably just imagine like a space escape pod. An escape pod is literally a pod.
If I said a water
space.
pod, someone would probably imagine a submarine, but that doesn't mean water pod is a term.
Okay, I didn't know we have to open the Merriam-Webster dictionary in order to name our.
Yes, you do. There's rules
podcast.
about this thing.
I mean, talk about being creative. If that's the best name you can come up with, then maybe this isn't the most creative podcast.
What do you think
there.
about Markiplier starting an OnlyFans?
It was hilarious.
This is actually something I was gonna lead off of with
It was for charity.
I'm closing brackets here. This is something I was going to lead off when I was talking about I don't...
Drop name suggestions down below, and they don't have to be from the Merriam-Webster dictionary or any other dictionary.
No, we're not changing the name. We're doing this.
We're just going to be the second escape pod.
Jason, when you search escape pod,
Well,
and you see two things
look.
right below each
One
other.
of the- hey.
Well, sure, one of them may be on top.
theirs is called the Escape Podcast. So
True.
their name has podcast in it.
Well, but we're going to be more than just a podcast.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And also, you're just going to see, when you know what they're just going to see there? They're just going to see two Spider-Man masks. They're going to be like, what is this, Elsa Gate? They're going to look at us, and they're going to be like, two little animated fellas. These are some real characters here.
We're actually going to match the brand. You look at their name, and you just think, the Escape Podcast. The Escape Podcast.
Like, yeah,
like the Avengers escaping at the end of the movie?
It's like, I mean, there's Spider-Man on it. There's got to be something.
But you look at ours, and it's like...
Oh, the Escape Pod.
It's like us
the podcast.
zooming through space, and it's the Escape Pod. It's like, oh, the Escape Pod. Oh, the Escape Podcast, like a podcast.
Dude, you've reawoken. I'm back.
Yeah.
I thought you
Do
were...
you want to know a secret?
I thought you were a seancer. You're actually a necromancer. I'm back from the dead now.
The scales
you
of the-
revived
The
me.
scales of the universe are in my hand. I hold all stones, and I basically just bent the will of the world to make you have a meltdown right there, just for the sake of entertainment. And it's like a redemption arc or like a revenge arc. I had to start your arc so that you get a little bit of fire under you. I lit a fire.
Oh, you did not start my arc, but you were definitely a
And
pivotal
then-
character.
And then I just realized I could say like two
This has been in the works
sentences
for
to I've cooled the fire. Well, I've cooled the fire under your butt, but the fire inside you is still alive. You know what I mean?
Yes, dude. Yeah, I gotta get busy now. I'm telling you.
But you can't justify it. And now we're about to close the last bracket. Look at that.
No, because we didn't stop. I didn't.
What did we not finish?
I didn't let you know that the Markiplier thing was supposed to be a bracket close on the IShowSpeed thing.
Oh.
Because we were talking
Well, that's
about
old news, though.
Well, no, that's why originally, but you changed topics so fast. I was gonna bring it up, right immediately after as an example, because we were talking about how it does not make sense that IShowSpeed's community consists of any children at all. But like, the first thing I thought when Markiplier made an OnlyFans is like, I know his fan base probably shouldn't have as many kids as it does, but it definitely does. And now he's just, promoted himself on a platform where people share their nudes. And I was like, does that not seem like a bit sketchy? Like, I'm not saying he had bad intentions, but does that not seem like it crossed a line or something? Do you know what I'm saying? Because I genuinely don't think anybody else thought about that, but that was like one of the first things that came to my mind.
No, I don't really think it is. I also don't really think that his audience is children anymore.
Really? You
Like,
think
at
they've
all.
grown up?
Yeah, I pretty much think his audience is mostly the people who used to be children and like back when he was, back in that era of YouTube.
Isn't it like established though that any sort of like sexual interaction with your audience is kind of bad because it's like
It's not
power leverage?
He didn't actually sell nudes. They weren't fully nude.
Well, I didn't know because I didn't get an OnlyFans to look at them. But he called them tasteful nudes. I assume they're like
they're censored.
They're like
it's
artistically censored.
Yeah, it's just like him posing funny and like he's not wearing clothes. But
how
like,
do you know? Because I saw pictures of those like as like his like screenshots of stuff. But those are the ones people would share. If he actually did have some more risque stuff, they wouldn't share it because they want you to get an OnlyFans so you don't need to share it.
No, because I saw like a sample picture of like the calendar or whatever it was
Oh,
that he
okay.
was selling. And also because I don't think he wanted to actually post his straight up nude genitals.
Oh, I know.
on the
I don't
internet.
think he did. I was just saying we don't know the
Well,
full
he
depth
didn't.
of what is there.
And I think at some point if a kid decides that they're gonna listen, or if their parents let them watch Markiplier, and then let them visit OnlyFans.com and let them use their mom's credit card to buy his tasteful nudes.
Oh no, I'm not saying kids would
Like-
actually end up on OnlyFans because of this. I'm just saying I don't know if
Well,
that's
then there's no issue. That's what I'm saying.
I'm
They
just
wouldn't,
saying,
and I don't think there's any
given
issue
his
with it.
audience, I don't know if that's something he should introduce.
I think it was just a funny promotional thing. If he had his own platform to do it that wasn't OnlyFans, I don't think you'd even bat an eye. I think it's just that name that makes you think there's something wrong with it.
Fair enough. I mean, you know me, I don't take risks. If I were Markiplier, I'd never do it.
And I think
If I were Markiplier.
I think he basically just used the whole OnlyFans thing as a way to, because that name is so infamous, as a way to just drum up attention for it, which again was all for charity. So
Okay, Markiplier, you win this one.
I'm not even a Markiplier fan, but I thought it was cool. I thought it was funny that he did
That said, I do find it hard to believe.
I think it's an ultimate, confidence power move.
I mean, he still plays
guys, it happened. I actually just clicked on the Twitter logo thinking that it was a close button.
What?
It was,
yes!
It was up there in the corner, and I forgot that
it is in the corner!
I thought that this was still on YouTube, and that it was like a in-browser, pulled up thing.
Oh my goodness.
Because, on some apps it does that, and my brain just went monkey mode and was I don't want to see this anymore. So I literally just clicked the Twitter logo as a close button.
This is hilarious because this is I've been thinking about this, and people have complained about like
That's actually crazy that we haven't talked about Twitter yet, by the way.
Well, we have talked about Twitter. Well, we haven't talked about X. But that's
that's our hiatus missed the most Maybe that's why. If we had made podcasts every time, it would have just been about Twitter.
Exactly, because this is the craziest thing that a person in power has done. Well, I'm definitely not going to say that. Putin is out there right now. It's like the most.
Imagine making.
It's the most nonsensical thing. We know what Putin is doing. We know what he's trying. We know what his goals are, generally speaking. But because I was thinking about this, and people talk all the time about stupid business decisions like Nintendo or YouTube or someone makes. But they're not really stupid. They're short-sighted or just bad, anti-consumers. But not bad for business, just bad for the people involved in the business. This is straight up just a stupid business idea for the sake of a stupid business idea. And it has been so long since I've seen one of those, especially from a company so big. Of course, the company's been completely replaced from the inside out, so it's almost not the same thing anymore. But it's so dumb. X is it's just a letter. It has no brand recognition. It doesn't look eye-catching. You mistake it for the button to close the app. And all these people who are follow me on Twitter, it's become a punchline online. You have no idea how many people I've heard on YouTube in the past few days who are check out my X. Play the laugh track in the background. It's they've all made the same joke. I mean, it's not really a joke. It's true. But it feels like a joke at this point because they've all said it.
It's like if Windows changed their logo to just a rectangle.
Exactly.
A rectangle.
I mean, they kind of did. They
got rid of the perspective.
Yeah, it used to be wavy.
Oh, it was wavy, and then they added perspective, and then now it's just flat square.
Yeah, it's 4 rectangles. But
no, they undid it. Yeah, it's back to perspective.
Oh. Or is that only because it doesn't have the colors? If I saw it with the colors, would it be...
Maybe. That's
Why am I expecting to see it in, this menu?
But I think it was Windows 8 era that they went to the square, and then they went back with Windows 10. But, with Windows 11, did they go back to the square again?
I used to have a hot take on this.
Windows 11 is terrible, by the way. Let me know what you think, but it looks so bad.
I was going to say, I used to have a hot take on this in terms of not disliking all of these simplified logos that everyone's bashing on recently. But I'll save it because there's something more important along those lines that we're going to bring up later. But I want to talk about X first. Obviously, I got to get X all out of the way. One of my least favorite things for us to do that now I can't talk about too much or else I'll have to do it is when I have to break up.
They're back to the square, dude.
They are?
Windows 10 is the perspective, and it looks like Windows 11, they're back to the square.
Shout out to all the Windows 10 users.
I'm about to double check that.
Who uses Windows 11? Nobody.
I want to double check first Windows 8. Windows 8 had the perspective. Windows XP was the wavy.
Jason, we're doing what I was literally just about to talk about how I don't like having to break up topics.
Sorry. I really want to... Xbox OS. Where's Windows 11? Forget it. They're back to the square, I guess.
It's that might actually... This isn't a bad decision, so I wouldn't put it on X.
You know what it is? Sorry. The Microsoft logo itself has the Windows logo built into it, and that one is square.
Oh, it's Microsoft, but not Windows. Okay.
And Microsoft logo is the one that has the colors. And now the Windows logo...
Okay, you know what? I take it back. Microsoft actually might be getting close on X's stupidness. But X is definitely still the reigning champion.
It's kind of inconsistent.
It's kind of dumb how Microsoft... If you notice, every time they make a new version, everyone's don't get it, you know?
Yeah.
That's literally always... But yeah, this is just a really stupid decision. I can't... And it's also... It's people would almost think of this as
Last time I tried to update my PC, by the way, the update failed halfway through and corrupted my operating system. It blue screened my PC, and then it corrupted the installation of Windows, and I had to completely do a fresh install of the Windows operating system to fix it.
You know what? I think companies...
So that's why I don't do Windows updates as much as possible.
Dude, I've lost faith in Microsoft a lot, actually, recently, because we use Microsoft Teams for my job, and everyone is just like, oh yeah, you got to pray to the gods to have Microsoft Teams work right. It's just, at this point, I don't think Microsoft makes good software. I think they just make it first, and they make it visually, appealing and easy to get to because they're, big name. They push it in your face. And I think that's the only thing keeping them afloat at this point. I think almost any other company, like Google especially, could make something better and more consistently efficient.
Yeah, well, they go to India and, pay for entire schools' licenses for Windows. That way...
Yes, you were telling me about this.
The kids in school learn Windows, and you know how much India has a foothold in, the tech industry internationally. So they're basically, buying their space in the operating system more.
This is people talk about stuff like this and they think of it as a capitalistic hellscape, all these big companies fighting to rule the world. This is what I was telling to Jason earlier. I don't think it was on the podcast. This isn't capitalism. This is communism. You are anti-competition. You are buying people out of no merit of your product. And you're crossing the lines of fairness to do so.
Unchecked capitalism
is communism. It just wraps around.
Right, it does.
That's why I never say I'm anti-capitalist in general. Sure, maybe if we got everything down to the nitty-gritty and had 1,000 words for every type of different economic system, there would be one that is better than capitalism. At that point, what is capitalism? The Buddhist
approach, I think moderation is good.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is why I think some blend of basically what we would call socialism, although people are scared of that word, is I think the most practical economic system.
I think people overuse that a lot as a crutch for arguments, saying we need a mix of capitalism and socialism. And I think there are some things that conceptually don't mix, but you're using it as a what's the word? It's like a conceptualism. It's the closest you can approximate, given what we have. Because, like I said, we don't have a word for every economic system that could exist because we haven't tried them.
Well, that's exactly because it's funny because people consider the USA capitalist, but in so many ways we are already socialist, or at least in so many. There's so many policies that we have that are socialist, like Social Security, like unemployment, various types of financial aid, all of that stuff, Medicare. All of that stuff is socialized, and, well, obviously some people have problems with some of that, but a lot of people benefit in so many ways from socialized, socialized stuff that we have in the USA.
We've changed topics so many times.
So, yeah, I don't know, we were talking about Windows.
But actually, I can bring this back to X, because, what was I going to say? I've developed the habit you used to have of instead of saying because makes you sound stupid, I just used to do that all the time. And I hate it now.
I just sniff?
Yeah, you used to
sniff.
You need
to develop the habit of talking towards the microphone. I listen to these podcasts.
I'm holding it between us now.
I listen to the podcasts, I listen back to them, and it always sounds like you're talking,
Here's what I've actually always wanted.
It's you're just not talking to the microphone.
Can I say what I've actually always wanted? Do you know how...
peeking the microphone now, because it's, right next to you.
Do you know how, in the podcast, we're on two sides...
Rip it out. I just see it now.
No, it's got a long cord.
Okay.
He's sweating. He's wiping his brow.
I don't care. It's up to you.
I don't care. It's your microphone now.
They also can't hear me now because there's no microphone on the backside.
Oh, you're right. Well, I was gonna say this is.
It's not a it's a cardioid microphone, not an omnidirectional.
Listen,
you can't. It's not a 360 microphone.
Listen, this is what I always wanted for the podcast. Look at the backgrounds. We're on either side of the table. I do that because it's more visually appealing, but also. That way we can look at each other. We need an omnidirectional microphone sitting on two sides of a small table.
We have two microphones now. We can do that.
We can?
We have two microphones. You bought a microphone. That was
You're right! Point. I'm going to kick the chair again, this time out of happiness.
That was the whole point, or half of the point at least, of me telling you to get the microphone, is that we could do that.
You're
we
right.
We literally discussed that. And also, when I'm at college, if you're ever... finally accept that we could do virtual podcasts. If you ever want to do one of those, same thing, we can both record now, and you can quite literally have either of our channels isolated.
I will say that when we did our Mario movie specials, there was quite a few times where, like, I could tell we weren't getting our words in right. We didn't bounce off of each other right because there was a delay in hearing each other.
It's such a small delay. You say that every time, and all I think is just, no, it's because that was the most hellish 3 hours of my life.
Dude, no. Well, maybe you didn't feel it, but I felt it. Because you know me, I'm social. I'm social.
Okay, you have autism, maybe.
Yeah, but no, I have to. This is like playing a game for me. I'm waiting, and when I sense that you're done with like, what you're saying,
that's such a lie.
No, I'm just bad at it. I'm just bad at it.
And you're just like...
I'm just bad at it. I'm just bad at it.
As good a time as any.
I'm just bad at it. And also, I am a big fan of the idea
You're no different than IShowSpeed. You're literally just loud equals funny.
No. Oh, okay. We're closing. I actually forgot there were 2 open brackets with IShowSpeed. You were talking about how can you not think it's funny to be stupid? Here's the thing. If somebody is actually stupid, like they're not pretending to be, then I can laugh at them because then it's like if I throw a banana peel on the floor and then slip on purpose, that's not funny. That's stupid. Why would you do that? Whereas when you see somebody slip up by their own like fault, unknowing to anyone else, that's like coincidentally funny. That's like, oh, look at how that happened to happen. I never would have thought of someone thinking of that. Like,
it's post irony.
Yeah.
He is pretending to be stupid, and
it just comes across as annoying.
And he thinks it's funny to some people, and it is. And what other people think is funny is the fact that those people think it's funny, or that he thinks that that people will find it funny. So they're not. Some people are.
But at that point,
the 5-year-olds are just laughing because loud equals funny. Haha. Like their brain hasn't developed enough to know what's funny yet. The 10-year-olds are like, 5-year-olds think this is funny. The 15-year-olds are like, 10-year-olds think that this is funny because they think that 5-year-olds think this is funny. And then we're here and we're like, this isn't funny. This isn't funny.
This is like society. It's between like it's behind 72 layers of simulacra. Me and Jason were talking about this, about how like foods that are like high in fat and sugar are considered not nutritious, and then fiber is considered a nutrient. I was going on a rant about this. Fiber isn't a nutrient. It's any solid matter that has no nutrients.
Guys.
Sugar and fat are the nutrients. They give you calories. That's a good thing. You would need those to survive in real life. He left because I already gave him this rant. But we're living in a simulation. If we hunted and gathered out in the woods, if we ate what nature provided us, we'd get the fiber. It'd be like breathing the air. We don't say, oh man, am I getting my CO2? No, it's just there. Yes, we need to breathe out. Our lungs are used to it, but we don't ever have to worry about it.
Do you want an oddly on-the-nose, unintentionally political book that I just found in that...
There's a boy in the girls' bathroom!
What is this?
Louis Satcher, There's a Boy in the Girls' Bathroom. Winner of the Newbery Medal for Holes.
Oh, it's the guy who wrote Holes. That's why I was familiar. What is this book? Give me $1 or I'll spit on you. That's Bradley Chalkers for you.
Dude, this is the most middle school read book ever. Like, you would...
For real.
Oh, my goodness.
This is... What did I just... That's 10 chapters? Oh, my goodness. That's 10 chapters? 10 chapters and 43 pages? 37 chapters? Holy
Dude, this
cow.
is dense. Holes. Dude, Holes was a good movie. I did not read the book.
In the girl's bed. That's pretty funny. I just picked a random book off of this bookshelf.
He left and just picked a book off of our bookshelf in the other room.
Not ours.
But, life is actually easier without society. The only thing that we'd be missing out on is healthcare. But here's the thing. It's a ripoff anyways. Most people die of poverty through healthcare more than they're saved by it. And you know what the few people who are saved by healthcare have? Cancer. You know what causes cancer? Literally all this modern stuff. The smoke in the sky. The poison in the water. Just live on a farm, dude. The Amish had it right all along. Yeah, there's some inbreeding there, but that's because their population isn't big enough. There need to be more Amish people.
The Industrial Revolution and its effects.
Exactly. The Unabomber was right.
Oh, I just broke your headphones.
About everything except killing people.
Okay, I didn't actually break
them. Well, they're already broken. The mic doesn't work. You heard. Yes. Yeah. And so every time I'm in office doing a meeting, everyone's like, I can hear the whole world behind you. And I'm like, I'm sorry, it's broken.
Why don't you just ask for a new one?
Because I don't know where the tech lounge is.
You make $40. I wasn't supposed to leak that.
Yeah, I make $40. They pay me $40 up front, and that's all. It's an agreed end of term thing.
You make $40. That's enough. Like, if they're gonna pay you that much, I mean, geez, they can.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's most of the way to a Switch game. I mean, that's a 3DS game plus a bonus. That's kind of a lot.
But really, you should just ask them for new headphones.
Yeah, don't leak any information about my job, bro. Especially because I took all their little training videos, and they tell me I'm not allowed to talk about it.
Newberry Lane.
What?
Goldsboro. No, what was it? Gatlinburg.
Wait.
The call you just got.
The advertisement?
Gatlinburg or something?
No, I don't remember.
Gibsonville?
It was Gibsonville.
There you go.
Yeah.
I just leaked that we live in North Carolina. Oh, no.
No, I was saying it proudly earlier. Remember? I was like, we're the home of YouTube.
I'm joking. That was the joke. That was like the joke.
Okay. There was a funny joke. Speaking of funny, not funny, IShowSpeed. We're back on IShowSpeed. I didn't get to finish what I was talking about.
It would be funny, though, if there's any other states that happen to have a Gatlinburg, Goldsboro, and Gibsonville in them.
That would be interesting.
And then it would be up in the air.
And
we could be lying.
Yeah, it would be crazy if somebody knew that and they were listening and everyone's like, they're from my state.
Yeah.
And it's like,
they're from New Jersey. No way.
No way.
And New Jersey's way too small for that.
Yeah, those also don't sound like very New Jersey names.
Yeah.
I was thinking somewhere else in the South.
Like Pastramieville.
Pastramieville. Bro, shout out to all my homies in Pastramieville, New Jersey.
Okay, no, anyways, we're about to wrap this up.
The other form of stupid that's funny is clever stupid. Like a friend of mine once described.
How do you feel about Link Neal then?
Patrick's lines in SpongeBob as being something that only a really smart person could think of because of how stupid they are.
Right. How do you feel about Link Neal's humor on Good Mythical Morning? Because he kind of like acts like the stupid friend.
I don't know how much of it is acting anymore. Sometimes.
Well, no, there's definitely an element of it that's real, but he definitely plays it up for entertainment.
Do you think I play it up?
Play up what?
He doesn't know.
You're stupid?
I'm playing the part well then. Okay.
You're different than Link Neal, so I don't know if I can I don't know.
Actually, weren't you telling me I'm a lot like him several times ago?
Sure, maybe I am too in some ways. I was talking about how you interrupt me on the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, I'm sure you play up something. You've just been hyper today. But I'm saying Link has sort of, you wouldn't get it if you haven't listened to Ear Biscuits. On one of their podcasts, they were talking about how he gets a lot of hate from some people for, like, acting too stupid.
Oh.
And he said, well, first of all, he said how, like, part of that is just literally him just being
a goofball.
But also part of it
is
quote unquote playing it up. But as somebody who makes YouTube videos, like how I act in my YouTube videos isn't how I necessarily act normally. But it's also I wouldn't necessarily call it acting straight up.
Yeah, you're joking around a little bit. It's not like IShowSpeed where you create an entire false persona.
Yeah, it's like a tone shift.
Yeah.
It's like I'm acting differently, or I'm like being more energetic. That's what I mean by playing it up.
Like, even now, both of us, we're not probably acting exactly the same as we would having a conversation with a real person. This is probably as close as we get to any type of content.
Dude, as soon as we stop rolling, I just, immediately leave this room as fast as possible. And I don't talk to you for the rest of the day.
That is kind of true.
We've far surpassed our quota whenever we record a podcast of, how much I need to talk to you in one day.
I could talk forever.
And you've already gotten real close to the quota.
In a world with no consequences. But the consequences here are that I have social anxiety and I get nervous. So I do need to take a break from this eventually. I realize this is like an artificial social situation because not only am I not talking to any real people directly, but there are maybe 2 people who see this indirectly. So
you guys should go to my channel at J4MLab on YouTube. And watch the first and second, a.k.a. the only 2 Mario Odyssey Let's Play videos I did. And just watch a little bit of, maybe skip around, skim through it. And just
I'm more of a fan of the Minecraft Let's Plays.
No, just notice my commentary in them. And then go watch any of my new videos. Or maybe one of the Minecraft
Were you playing
Let's
stuff
Play.
up back then?
No. This is just a comment
you weren't.
This is a comment on... Let me just finish. Stop.
You're saying too much. You gotta go no instead.
Because I can feel you creeping down my neck waiting to give out your next game theory or film theory about what I'm about to say.
Okay.
go watch like a Mario Odyssey video and then go watch any of my newer videos, or sure, if you want something that's like Let's Play for comparison's sake, then my Minecraft series, and just compare those two. I did that recently, and like I know that my Mario Odyssey videos are bad. Like the commentary is horrible, and by that I mean commentary is hard. Like you don't realize how hard making like Let's Plays is that are actually entertaining. And I just did it so long that I've gotten good at it, and now I know how to play that role. And so it is definitely like it's like almost like an act, but again, it's not like it's scripted or anything. It's not like you're following some guideline per se, but you're just sort of altering your behavior to be more entertaining, or bringing out a more entertaining aspect of your personality.
I mean, honestly,
that it's not necessarily like you're acting something different.
It's an
than how
exaggeration
you are.
of what you do in real life social situations.
That's what I'm saying, except I couldn't finish my sentence. But
sorry,
no, well put,
dude. I'm going to be honest. You were honest with me once, and I'll be honest with you now. You were struggling a little bit. You were sort of limping through that point you were trying to make. You were taking a little while.
Because it's literally waiting at the doorstep around every corner is you about to interrupt me.
Dude, no, I was literally sitting here staring into space like glazed over eyes. You have an irrational fear of me interrupting you.
No. Maybe. It's not irrational, though. It's a fear, for sure.
Well,
you could be slumped backwards with drool coming out of your mouth, and I'd still be afraid that at any moment you might snap up, alert, and come up with something to interrupt me with.
This podcast is crazy. I think I like it, though. Do you like this podcast?
I think this is the style we have to have if we want to be entertaining and set us apart from other podcasts.
Exactly.
Which goes back to what I was saying about how you have to learn how to do these things. Like,
dude, this is a Bible Rainbow episode.
Our first podcasts were way, like if you compare them to this one, for example, way less entertaining, way more lulls, way more just not as entertaining or energetic, so on and so forth. And through doing this, you've sort of learned some of the trade, the craft.
Yeah, I have. I've developed social
I certainly
skills.
have as doing as much.
Sorry, I'm spitting on you again.
As much YouTube videos as I have. I really know how to like be entertaining on camera, which I love that because like I've always just wanted to do that. Not in like a I want to be like an influencer, like
I'm gonna be
popular kind of way. I just love making funny videos.
You did seem a little bit like that when you first started off your YouTube expedition.
That was always like a bit. Like, it was always supposed to be satirical.
Oh, like how I say we're going to rule the world?
Yeah.
Oh, no, but that's dead serious.
Oh, well, then I misunderstood. But anyways, same thing with us. So, I think we just have to keep doing it. This is why I don't really even care if these don't get views. Because it's the same thing of, like, I've already been through this now. Where it's like, I know with my YouTube videos, like, the first ones I made, they just weren't good. But it's just like... It's a canon event, you know. Like you have to go through that.
I'm trying to remember what was your first YouTube video. They were bad. They were bad.
How to make a good video.
I was trying to remember if you had any like golden nuggets at the beginning, but I don't think there were.
Anyways,
I love how I can talk about your videos being bad now.
Can you close that door,
because you have
please?
Good ones.
We're recording a podcast. Can you close that door briefly?
A bunch of our family just walked in. We're having a cookout. I washed my hair just to look good, and now I'm sweating from all this discourse. Should I turn on the fan?
This is why background noise. I'm fine with recording all the, it's cool. Let's record them because I think we're just we're slowly finding our element and our niche and figuring out our style, which we would need to one day have an audience of people. It also takes more than that, obviously. You could be good, but if you don't do anything to, like, promote or market or spread yourself, you know, then it's not going to work. And that's a whole nother can of worms, because that's, like, a whole new ball game now than it was in the earlier days of YouTube. Because now, basically, if you want to get popularity on YouTube, like, you have to use other social media. You have to use TikTok to promote yourself, so on and so forth.
That is true.
Because YouTube just doesn't really promote people like it.
I watched a video back in the day of a guy who was like trying to see if I can. He like started like an alter ego channel to see how fast you could get popular.
That was Ludwig.
Was it?
Yeah.
It might have been. It was so back I couldn't remember. But yeah, it was like he had it down to a science because he knew at that point in his career. And I guess it was Ludwig. And he was like going on Reddit trying to like promote himself through other accounts and stuff. And it's crazy how much you have to do and how sometimes underhanded. We
might be talking about different videos.
Random. It might have been.
Well, Ludwig did one where he made a video and then he promoted it by donating to Mizkif's live stream.
Okay, I
and
feel like I
telling him to
remember
watch
something
it.
like that too. So.
But it's the same concept, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. You have to be like, what's the word? Intrusive. And you have to be really lucky.
That's what I hate. That's why, if you want to know the honest truth, like I could make YouTube videos till the day I die and be happy. Of course, I'd always be happier the more people see them, just because that means people get to actually appreciate what I'm doing. But it just irks me so bad to think that if I want to do that, I would have to promote myself or market myself through methods that I consider to be uncomfortable.
There's got to be a compromise here. I feel dogmatically in my heart.
We got to end this quick because it's getting loud and I think people are getting antsy with
Speed round closing brackets.
Quit your job.
X is the I don't like to say I'm against communism. Going back against capitalism.
We already closed this.
That's why I use terms like neo-capitalism or whatever the one Jason was. But real talk, what Elon's been doing is the least capitalist thing ever. He literally bought a company just to make them not exist, so he didn't have to compete with them. Where he's ultimately now just making a completely new company and stealing everything that they made and getting the money for it.
Yeah. That is a good point. It is very anti-capitalist.
It's
crazy. Literally buy your competition and don't even do anything with it. Like literally just destroy them for the sake of making
he bought them just to kill them, steal a little bit of their fame. None of their programmers. He got rid of all of them, so it's not even utilitarian. He just wanted to kill them and then make his own thing.
This is like interesting new legal precedent.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is like nothing else before it.
I feel like there's something wrong in what he's doing.
Yeah,
like
I know.
From a
and yet he's trying to sue
standpoint.
Threads, and that's why I said I almost don't care at this point if Threads is.
Oh my goodness, I'm getting showered. This could not end any sooner.
I almost don't care at this point if Threads is the exact same thing because like Elon killed this exact same thing, and I just want to get away from it. But I would never support anything Meta. Meta is its own can of worms.
Jonathan's gonna quit his job. That's the last bracket closed.
Do you want me to?
No, you should not.
Because here's the thing.
Here's the problem. You have a Dandori issue. If the only way that you're going to be able to succeed in life
we didn't talk about Pikmin 4 in full detail.
Is by not having a job, then that's not going to work. I think you need to keep this job so you can learn how to be Dandori.
But what am I working towards the Dandori with?
You need to learn how to budget your time and budget your life so that you can
do what?
Actually
That's
live.
What I'm saying. What is the end goal?
I'm saying you want to do fun things that aren't just your work that you said you don't care about.
Yeah, and I want to do them before I'm 30.
As does everybody in life. But you're not special. Like, everybody actually has to, like, eat and live, and it all costs money. So I'm saying there's no realistic way. If you weren't so privileged to have a family that can support you and, you know, have everything paid for you, then the situation you'd be looking at is, how can I make the most of my time outside of my job that I need to live to do what I want? And you'd find a way. If it meant that much to people find a way. You certainly can find a way. I'm saying that what you need to do is
people always forget the caveat of time. They're always like, you can do it. Can I do it in 1 second? Can I do it in 2 minutes?
I'm saying they find a way to maximize their time. And I think if the only way you can succeed in life is by having nothing but time to do whatever, you know, you want, I guess, whatever your personal things are, then I think that just shows a lack of time management or organizational skill, Dandori, on your part. That is something that, in order to succeed in life, I think you have to have. So I don't think the correct option is to avoid ever building those skills. Well, the sad thing is, I think you have to build those skills to succeed.
We don't have time to elaborate on this, but I had developed crazy Dandori just before this job really kicked into overdrive. And now I've just lost it because I'm juggling 2 Dandoris at once.
You don't lose. Life is an upward path. We always progress and we always grow. Life is Roblox.
Life is Roblox. Dude, you're crazy.
That previous thing I said was true, though, too. I think you could do, like, 1,000,000 times more things than what you do right now if you just had any self-confidence or faith in yourself.
I get up, I start working, 5 is when I get off. I have to eat, that's like another hour.
It's not about the physical, it's about the mental, is what I just said.
No, I'm saying,
You're thinking
what
in the
about
physical
time?
dimension.
What about time?
There may be nothing left for you to solve in the physical dimension. It all relies now in the mental dimension. We really have to go. We really have to end this. Like, we really have to end this.
Well, one last bracket we never closed was, though, you mentioned this other escape pod competition, but I thought you said you wanted to talk more about the future of our escape pod as well back then. You made it sound like you had plans for the theming and everything.
Yeah. This is a conversation to happen off camera or off recording.
Oh, no! I brought it up and you said, wait until the podcast.
I did talk about it on the podcast once.
You did?
Yes. And I told you how... Yes. Anything beyond what I said on the podcast that I've already said was stuff that we talk about outside of the podcast. Like, I'm not about to sit down here and go through a design brief of how we should rebrand our channel. I would just throw out some ideas on the podcast. Everything else is outside. I don't know what else you want from me to say.
Well, somehow, I am now to create more product with less time. More outcome, less resource.
I know what you're talking about. We need to end this. We have to end this. You're going into crypto mode.
You're talking...
Cryptic mode.
I'm talking about what you're talking about. You're literally telling me right now I don't have time. We gotta stop. This is how I feel.
I'm so confused.
I am too. And so will you be on the next episode of the Escape Podcast.
This was a confusing one.
It was fun, though.
Comment down below if you have ever commented down below.
Exactly. Bye.
Bye. After credits theme.
Oh.
After credits. Olimar blows up the planet. I wasn't supposed to tell you that.
No.
Legalize nuclear picnic.
Legalize nuclear bombs.